The RMS Titanic. March 31st, 1909, at Harland and Wolff Shipyard in Belfast, Ireland, construction of Titanic begins with the building of the keel, the backbone of the ship. Titanic's price tag was $7.5 million to build her. That's $75 million in today's economy. Titanic was massive, and she was almost 3 football fields long. She had 9 decks, lettered A to G, and room for 3,500 people, although on her maiden voyage there was only 2,200 people aboard. When Titanic was leaving port, the suction it caused actually snapped the ropes of a nearby ship, the SS New York. Tugboats had to prevent the New York from colliding with Titanic. Wednesday, April 10, 1912. Passengers board the massive ship at 9:30. At noon, Titanic leaves the dock for her first and only voyage. Titanic was beautiful inside and out. She was lit by 10,000 light bulbs, and there were a total of 840 staterooms. 416 were first class, 162 standard class rooms, and 262 third class rooms. The price of a single first-class ticket for Titanic was $4,300, equaling today $50,000. There was a lot to do on board, with swimming pools, gyms, baths, dark rooms, and cigar rooms. At 1:30 p.m., the Titanic leaves Queenstown, Ireland, and heads across the Atlantic for New York. 4 days would pass, from the 11th to the 14th, until Titanic's maiden voyage would make history and change it forever. In 1869, Captain Edward Smith went to sea and continued as a captain for 43 years. On Sunday, April 14th at 9:20 p.m., Captain Smith would retire to his room for what would be his last night at sea. At 9:40 p.m., the last of 6 ice warnings the Titanic would receive before the collision. The warning never makes it to the bridge because transcribers were preoccupied with sending passenger messages.
What was that, Mr. Murdoch?
An iceberg, sir. I put her hard to starboard and ran the engines full of stern, but it was too close. I tried to port round it, but she hit, and
Close the watertight doors.
The doors are closed, sir.
At 12:05 a.m., Captain Smith orders the crew to prepare the lifeboats and get the passengers and crew up on deck. There would be no way he could know that it would only take the Titanic 2 hours and 40 minutes to sink after hitting the iceberg. At 12:45 a.m., the first lifeboat is lowered into the freezing water. The lifeboat only carried 28 people, but could have held 64. The band played music up to the last few moments, hoping to calm the passengers before the ship went under.
You know, I do believe this ship may sink.
At 2:18 a.m., the Titanic snaps in half. It takes about 15 minutes for the ship to reach the ocean floor. At 4:10 a.m., the Carpathia picks up the first of the survivors. At 8:30, the last survivors are plucked from the icy ocean. On April 17, 1912, the day before survivors of the Titanic reached New York, the Mackay Bennett was sent off from Halifax, Nova Scotia, to search for bodies. In all, 328 bodies were found, but 119 of those bodies were so badly damaged they were buried at sea. April 18, 1912, the Carpathia arrives in New York with 705 Titanic survivors. On May 31, 2009, Melvina Dean passed away. She was just 9 weeks old at the time of Titanic's sinking. There are no longer any living survivors of the Titanic tragedy.